Oh, hi. Welcome to the floor. This isn't even my sewing room that's over there, but I needed a hard floor and that has carpeting because this week we're gonna do some metal stamping. I've tried this before and I learned a lot doing that. So now I make them not look so terrible. I mean, still a little terrible because it's hard, but the point of them is to look handmade. It's hand stamped, so whatevs. I'm not done with this, but this is already way better than any of the ones I did in my first metal stamping video. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it, and because I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff, I figured I'd show you what I'm up to. So before, I probably just did it on the table or maybe even the carpet or the concrete. I did try this back up on the concrete, but you really need like a hard metal surface. So I used to do some on the flat square part of the metal vise that used to be over here. That worked really well. I'm literally just using a 90-degree ruler and that's doing the trick. It's just like a hard metal surface to be hammering these on. Yeah, as far as other stuff you need, a hammer. Hammer's good. As well as a set of metal stamps. And I didn't even get them at a craft store. These were at not Tractor Supply. What's that other one? Harbor Freight. This was less than $10. And yeah, it comes with 36 letters and numbers. It was worth the investment. I've had it for probably a couple years, but yeah, I just got so frustrated with it the first time around. I haven't touched them in a while. And then I found these bracelet blanks. Little pro tip if you have a nickel sensitivity. I wouldn't fuck with this if you're like very allergic to nickel, but I just get very like rashy and gross and blistery and pussy and it's disgusting. But if I put a coat of clear nail polish over the metal bits that are touching my skin, I have no problem with it. Sometimes it'll wear off if I wear those earrings a lot and I'll have to reapply, but I just try to think of it like every 10th wear or something. And yeah, it helps me a lot. Sorry about the background noise. We had some flooding, so I'm washing a bunch of towels that I used to clean it up. Isn't springtime like the best? I love it. My boots did that thing where if they hadn't been tied to my feet, they would have gotten suctioned into the mud I was walking through earlier while I was carrying buckets of melted snow away from our basement door because it was just pouring into the house. So fun things. Anyway, to show you what I'm doing, here's my big metal ruler. This is like really heavy duty. Here's my little blank. When I'm placing my letters, I tend to start from the center out just so things look as even as possible. Conveniently enough, this is on a ruler so I can find the midpoint nice and easy. I'm gonna take my M stamp. Make sure it's facing the right way so it's not turned 90 degrees. You could even like mark the tops of the stamps with the letter you're using so you know which way it's oriented. I'm gonna place it firmly there. Keep these fingers out of the way and I just need to hit it once. Ta-da! Now you just repeat for all the letters. Space it however you want. Keep an eye on things like this where this S isn't really centered in the stamp. I kind of have to position it a little further up, otherwise it's gonna look real cockeyed. Okay, so don't do that. Sometimes I'm able to reline these up in the grooves where I initially hit them. I just wasn't holding that very straight. Yeah, it's obviously quicker and easier the shorter the word you do, unlike this one. Okay, so the next step is to fill it with some black Sharpie. Here's a better example. It's just more visible, having some contrast. And I've seen people use like very expensive sauces and inks and everything to do this part. I just use a Sharpie and then rub it off with my finger right after before it dries all the way, as shown here. What a surprise, I found the cheapest way to do a thing. Also, sorry my desk is a mess. I'm in the middle of like art fair prep, so it's just gonna be a nightmare. I got like 6 things going on. Oh God, this is horrible. There we go. My goodness. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the tip of the Sharpie, rub it into the letters. We'll do like a couple at a time, like that, and then I'm literally rubbing off the excess ink. See how much better that looks? I'm excited. This is going so well. I'm feeling positive about this art fair this weekend. Actually, the day you're watching this is probably the day of the event. So if you're anywhere near Lowell, Massachusetts, and it is March 16th, Saturday, please come out to a little bazaar at mill number 5, going from noon till 5 p.m. I'll be there. There's going to be a food cart. There was a beer cart really close to me last time, which was awesome. It was Night Shift Brewing Company, and that definitely helped calm my nerves for talking to people at the table. I don't know, it's hard to not feel like really exposed standing next to a table of stuff you've made with your hands and having random people walk by and literally be judging everything you've made. Yeah, it's mentally taxing doing that. So having even just a beer to hold on to, just so I have something to do with my hands, like when you're at a party. I don't know what to do with my hands otherwise, so I just beer cup is good to hold. Side note, I was at a piano bar in, I almost said London. No, in New York City. I've never been to England. It's called Marie's Crisis Cafe, and it's the best time. You super need to go if you like show tunes and theater nerds. I was never in theater, but I have made theater costumes, and I was like friends with all the kids that did theater and hung out with them, so I was just like on the outskirts of it. My friends and I did some skit-like things in high school, but never like proper theater. Anyway, I tell you that because I don't know most of the songs that they're singing, but something about a whole crowd of people that are very good at singing and know all the dramatic like arm flails that happen during certain songs. It makes me so happy to go. And then of course if it's a song I do know from a show that I'm familiar with, then I'll sing along and everything, just more quietly and to myself. But they have like little teeny tiny glasses for their cocktails, so I was like a dinosaur holding my glass, and I just didn't know what to do with my arms because they pack you in there like a sardine can, which gives you a more communal feel, I suppose, but it can be a lot as far as personal space. Holding a full-on like plastic 16-ounce cup is just more substantial. You can put both hands around it without feeling like a giant. Boy, that was quite a side tangent. Okay, I'm just gonna find something round, vaguely wrist-shaped. And actually, it's keeping it straight going along the lid, so that's helpful. I'm gonna curve this enough that it wouldn't like fall off of somebody. I'll probably have to make some of these a bigger hoop, but I have the world's tiniest wrists, so yeah, perfect. Then I have a little bracelet. Yeah, I'm pretty into how these are coming out. I'm so relieved I finally kind of got the hang of this. I'm sure there are people that do this regularly that are horrified by what I'm doing to these metal pieces, but it seems to be working for what I was going for. I'm not pretending to be an expert on this. If nothing else, it's a hell of a lot better than my first couple attempts, so we learned something. Look at that. I'm progressing in the world. Sorry if I've been like really obnoxious about letting you all know about the events. I just know not everyone watches every video I put out, so I hope if there are people that would want to see it, they're catching me mentioning it, and it's all stuff I'm really excited about. I know there are events I'm doing, so I'm like pushing my own shit, but it still, you know, feels like I'm throwing an ad out there and being too self-promotional. I don't know. You all probably get it. I'm sure you're understanding of me having to mention all the stuff and, you know, push the Patreon and all those kinds of things, because I do put a lot of effort into those things. Obviously the art fairs, or I don't know what they should be called, art markets, craft markets. I do put a lot of time and effort into them, and they're worth mentioning in the videos. Yeah, same thing with my Patreon stuff. I really like the community we have over there, and I like having a reason to post extra stuff over there. So the more of you that are over there, obviously the more driven I am to put more things out on that page and everything. And I really appreciate everyone's input. Again, it's just the best group of people over there. Just know that I'm trying really hard. I really appreciate everyone being patient with me when I have to spew off a bunch of housekeeping kinds of things. And anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody. It's important to me that you all know that I appreciate you being patient and helpful and really kind, and all of you have been saying such supportive things. Like the video that just went up this past Saturday was the swimsuits and despair one, and everybody's comments on that talking about their own experiences with really wanting to throw a project out the window. Some of you wouldn't trust me if I made everything look really easy and I showed the struggles, so that was really nice to hear. I feel like the feel of my videos has changed, but I've also changed a lot this past year. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate everyone hanging out over here and not being like, oh, things got real weird and dark, so we're out. Yeah, you know the deal. I mentioned the Patreon, and I'll put a subscribe button in another video somewhere. This end card business is really frustrating. There's no way for me to like watch the end of the clip to place everything appropriately, so my gestures are useless now. All right, I'm gonna keep cracking away, and I hope I see some of you at the Harry Potter market. It's called Diagonally if you're looking for signs or anything about it. None of these are the lettering.